Good morning and welcome to Community Roundup, sponsored by Brad's Furniture and Appliances. I'm Jordan Prentice. I'm here with Karen Mason-Bennett, Executive Director of NEAT, and we're going to talk about Let Us Eat.
Yeah. So Let Us Eat's a pilot project. We've got funding and we are really looking to hire somebody. So that's kind of what we're here talking about. It's a pilot project that addresses food security in our community, and we're looking at really supporting families that are not currently utilizing food bank support. So we're looking at trying to stop the slide into a more formalized support setting, if that makes sense. So what we're anticipating is that we've got families in our community that are cutting back on their food budget. They either mums and dads are not eating as much or as often in order to make sure that kids are fed, especially over the summer. Obviously, as people head back to school, hopefully that'll get a little bit better, but we identified and really understand that there's a lot of pressure on food budgets. And when you're dealing with rent and hydro and insurance and all of those other bills that don't fluctuate as much, rent or food is one of those places where sometimes you can claw back. And so what we're really looking at doing is creating a collaborative community approach for dealing with food insecurity in that capacity, and we need an intrepid, creative person that is willing to take this on as a leadership role.
Awesome. Okay, and I know that often when families are experiencing food insecurity and they have bills and rent and such, like we just talked about, often they will, instead of buying the healthier choice in the grocery store, they'll buy the cheaper choice. So will Let Us Eat ensure
that?
Yeah,
for sure. So what we're looking at doing, you're spot on, right? Like, so you buy as much as you possibly can with the amount of money that you have, right? And you're hoping to just make sure that everybody has something to eat every day. And what we're hoping to do is dial that back a little bit. So the idea of this program is that collectively we will purchase food. And that allows us to buy in bulk, and it allows us to buy things that are in much bigger quantities than an original or a singular family would be able to afford. And then together we will make meals. And so all of the participants in the program will receive 5 meals a week. So Monday through Friday they will get dinner, and then the rest of their grocery budget will still be available for them to do lunches and breakfast and weekends and that type of thing. But we're hoping that a couple of things will happen. We're hoping that we can free up money in their budget, but we're also hoping that we can impart and maybe collectively learn together some budgeting skills and some like food planning skills that will help people carry that forward. We're also really hoping that people become friends, right? There's a lot of connective tissue around food, and food's a really important part of our community and our lifestyle. And when people ask about that, I always just like, what's Thanksgiving dinner, right? It means something to you. And if all of a sudden you couldn't have the thing that you've always had, right, that would impact you. And these folks, I think, are dealing with that on a day-to-day basis, right? Because lunch no longer looks like, a salad or a soup or a sandwich. It is, whatever I could afford, and maybe that's crackers and peanut butter.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that's what we're really trying to do, is create a real collaborative community that can support people just holistically, I think. And so, yeah, we need a coordinator for that, and then we are going to put a call out for participants as well. So the pilot project will last about 25 weeks, and so it's a reasonable size. And what we're really hoping to see is that by freeing up that food budget and creating connections across the community, that we're supporting not only economic health for families, but like social health as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. Yeah. I guess my last question for you is the person that you're looking to hire, what sort of qualifications would that person have?
They definitely are going to be organized and creative. They are going to love food, and they are going to love connecting with people through food. So it's not a full-time position. It is something that could be done adjacent to a full-time position. So if they had a job and wanted a side hustle, I think this would work reasonably well for it. They are going to need to be a really strong communicator, and they're going to need to be okay with coming in on a couple of days and being like, oh, this happened, now what? And being able to kind of pivot, because we don't know what this is going to look like quite yet. We have an idea, but every day is a new adventure once you put a new program on the ground.
Awesome. Thank you. Is there anything else you want to add about Let Us Eat?
I don't think so. If
Yeah?
you're interested, call me.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Karen. I really appreciate you taking the time to let us know about Let Us Eat. You've been watching Community Roundup, sponsored by Brad's Furniture and Appliances. I'm Jordan Prentice, and I've been joined by Executive Director of NEAT, Karen Mason-Bennett.
Thank you.
We'll see you next